Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV, and you're joined by me, James to the Fever, baby. I've had a really good evening. Seen the boys in Claret and Blue win, had a few drinks, and now I'm here to do the afterthought. Um, where to start in tonight's game? I must admit, we played pretty decent tonight. Got the job done is the word that I'm going to use. Like job done, really. First 30 minutes like a training ground exercise. Let's be honest, and we managed to get it all sorted out with the two goals from Yarmolenko and obviously the penalty from Noble. But it was job done tonight in Vienna, and it was a good team performance, so to speak. But I thought we was thoroughly deserved it. We played well. Jazz, sorry mate, I've just missed your call. I do apologise. I will ring you back. And Scotty boy, evening all. And I thought we come out the traps. We was looking for it. We was up for it, and we sort of they ain't a good team, Rapid Vienna, if I'm honest, and they are a bang average team, and we should have won at least 5 or 6, really. When you sort of divulge into the game, Bowen had many chances and just didn't put them away, if I'm honest. Like, Jared Bowen, what's going on? But let's start off with the first goal, and the cross from Nikola Vlasic, the £33.5 million signing. Straight on to the nut of Yarmolenko, and I must admit it was a thoroughly good finish. You got to give praise to Yarmolenko, and you got to give criticism to Yarmolenko, and you can't be biased to the man. Like, he's not very good, but it was a good finish, and he executed it well, and it was literally the keeper had no chance, and that was 1-0 to us. And we played all right, we played well, and obviously we was the much better team going forward. They didn't have any chances, if I'm honest. Like, they had a few like half chances, but nothing of any note, so to speak. And then obviously we get the penalty, and good work from Yarmolenko. Gets fouled in the box. Referee gives the pen, and Mark Noble does what Mark Noble does and puts the penalty away and makes it 2-0 just before half time. And I really did think we was looking the part then. Do you know what I mean? Second half, we come out, and let's be honest, it was slow a bit. It was just like, and Bowen had multiple chances, and like he couldn't bury them. And like what Jazz says here is bang on. Bowen had 3 chances versus Wolves, and he has 2 or 3 again today. It's poor, mate, and I agree. Bowen should at least tuck one of them away. Do you know what I mean? Only James can have him in the dream team, and then he just does not score a goal against Rapid Vienna. Shocking. But like he had chances, and obviously the subs come on. Obviously, we see Alex Král. That's right, people. The man that we have signed from Spartak Moscow on loan to the end of the season. He arrived and he come on the pitch for Soucek, and obviously Ben Rama and Fornell's come on. So I was a bit surprised that Ben Rama and Fornell's come on. 2-0 up, comfortable. I don't really understand that one, really, if I'm being truthfully honest. But it's just one of them ones. But I must admit, like, they come on, we had some chances, and then West Ham brought some other subs on. And one of them subs was Sonny Perkins. Young lad, 17 years old, centre forward at West Ham United. He's from Hackney. And I'll tell you what, he has a golden chance. All comes in from Kafal, straight on his head. It's a good save from the keeper, no straight at him. But I'll tell you what, he did look lively, and he looks a talent. And do you know what? Every person on different platforms can say, you know what, Baptiste and Alessi and things like that. But no one knew about Sonny Perkins, if I'm honest. Like, very few people did. And he come in tonight, and he looked the part, I'm afraid. He really, really did. And he done his job well. Obviously, Fredericks come on, and then we see the game out 2-0. And I've got to admit, it's just a professional performance. I called a 2-0. I turned around and said that I think it will be 2-0 with Gio the other day. And when me and Gio was on here the other day, we copped every single bet that we predicted. Gio predicted the Rodri card, the Yarmolenko first goal. I copped the win to nil, and I copped both halves. West Ham first half, second half. So if you was listening and you got on them bets, fair play to you. Do you know what I mean? Let's get into the comments before I move on. Everyone's speaking to everyone. Jazz, a very open game. It should have ended up 6-0. I agree. I hope you're feeling better. I am, mate. I really do appreciate it, Dylan. Diop has started against City, but we all know it'll be Dawson. I agree, Jez. We need to work on the final product. Nick James, welcome. Thanks for subscribing, mate. I really do appreciate it. I didn't need to be a good today, but job done. Lingard in the squad will be a brilliant, as any of the front four can be replaced by him. 100% agree. 100% agree. Unlucky with the head of Perkins. I agree. And everyone's saying hello to everyone else. And yeah, listen, at the end of the day, it was just a professional performance. Get the job done, get out of there. But I must admit, we've seen a little glimpse into the future. I've got some breaking news for you, though, right? Because where I went tonight, this is breaking news. I was speaking to the CEO of a football club owner tonight, and they have turned around and said that they are looking at loaning a West Ham under-23 defender for the rest of the season. But they're having problems because obviously they don't want to let West Ham don't want to let the loan out in case there's a better loan comes about it in January. So I was speaking to them tonight, and they're looking at either Alessi or Baptiste in a National League club. So that's good signs. And I was speaking to him, and I said, "What do you make of West Ham youngsters?" And he said he's trying to get as many as he can. And that's my local team. And if you know who my local team is, you know that they've got a very good connection with West Ham United Football Club. So, yeah, it's looking. That's a bit of breaking news from me, and that's not in the know, as they say. I've got a guest coming on, and he is here. You know what I mean? Late as usual, but never mind. You know what I mean? Here he is. It's Tom Athers, baby. How you doing, Tom? Talk to me.
I'm all right.
You're frozen a bit, Tom, but you're back.
No,
you're backing up.
I'm just finishing off my Kit Kat chunky.
Who would have known it? What we got here? Diop needs to start against City. Dawson is absolutely off. Yeah, just hoofball. I think a lot of our fans are clouded by the fact that he was a bargain at the time and started off like prime Terry. Totally agree, Nick. Totally agree. I think he gets he's a backup centre half, and that is what Craig Dawson is. And when people realise it, then yeah, everyone will be sort of wiser to the fact. Tom, now you've ate your Kit Kat. Talk to me, brother.
I'm done.
Tonight's performance.
Very professional. There's a few players there that we sort of said before the game that we may have got a little bit wrong. I think like sort of Mark Noble, he actually had a very good game. Proved me wrong anyway. Still would have liked to have obviously seen Crowell start, but thought he was very good. Thought Perkins coming off the bench was a real bright spark. I think obviously probably had one of his best games. Unfortunately, in a while, even defensively, he was quite good. But yeah, just overall, very, very good, solid performance. Very impressed. I think it was Vlasic's best game in the West Ham shirt. Obviously, didn't set the world alight, but I guess anything that's sort of like better than maybe what he's shown us in the past. I thought the assist was very good, but no, just very professional performance. And don't know why he brought on Fornals and Ben Rara in the end. I think, oh geez, like just injuries were coming, especially with half an hour to go and we were in control of the game. But other than that, no, it was really, 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 really good performance.
Yeah, I couldn't work that out myself, mate. If I'm honest, you're in control of the game. You've got players on the bench who could just come on and do the job, and you bring on Syed Ben Rama and Pablo Fornals. You know, but one positive sign tonight is we got to see Alex Crowell, and that is the man that we wanted to see. And I thought he played all right, even though it's against a poor opposition. Yeah, I like what he did, Tom. I must admit. Who is your man of the match, Tom? Or who do you think was like, who was one of your top performers? Don't tell me the man of the match. We do the player ratings, and who was one of your top performers tonight?
I thought there's two for me. One, I thought Mark Noble actually, really honestly, didn't stop running all night, and he controlled that midfield. Still would have liked to see Alex Crowden, like you. I like what I saw of him in that half an hour. Just proved that I reckon the full 90 minutes of that would be no problem. He was getting stuck into absolutely everything that was there. I really liked Soufal. I thought Soufal was very dangerous down that right hand side, especially overlapping with Yarmolenko, putting a couple of dangerous balls. And again, I think Diop, for me, out of the two centre halves, I think Dawson still had his little Dawson moments where he just appeared to just lose focus for 10 to 15 seconds. But I actually thought that Diop was very composed and very good at the back. Obviously, Areola didn't have the times, and most of the shots ended up going sort of 10 foot over the bar. But yeah, I thought actually Diop had a very, very assured performance as well.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I thought Diop was all right tonight, I must admit. Diop played well tonight. Kufal played well tonight. I can't believe I'm going to say this one, but Mazuaka played all right tonight. And that's a shock in itself, do you know what I mean? After Mazuaku. But yeah, I think it was a good team performance tonight, I must admit. But let's get into it then, Tom. Like, you are here for one reason and one reason only, and that is the player ratings. And start off with Areola in goal, mate.
6 out of 10. Not he had a bad game because he had absolutely nothing to do, which is how you really want it. Every time they came through, he dealt with what he had to deal with. I mean, maybe a 7 out of 10 because he just, he dealt with everything that he had to. But they were really poor in the final third. But his distribution, I was impressed with that tonight. There was a couple of times where he sort of found people with a long ball out or something like that. So 7 out of 10 for me. It was just every time he plays, he always seems to keep a clean sheet. So yeah, he was good again for what he had to do tonight.
7 out of 10. Athers, is this something wrong with your internet or what? Your internet's cutting out on me, brother. I've got to admit. Yeah. I will chuck you out and then you come back in, bro. So Athers will be back shortly, but that is 7 out of 10 for Athers. Moving on to this man, Craig Dawson. I'll give my rating on Craig Dawson. There's no point me giving a rating on Areola because he didn't have a lot to do, if I'm honest. And what he done was pretty standard. And but Dawson played all right tonight. I'll give him his due. Like, he played a lot better than he did the other night, I must admit, against Wolves, and he sort of marshalled it well. For me, Craig I'll give him a 7 because what he done well. He wasn't phenomenal, but he wasn't absolutely dreadful, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'll give him a 7. I think 7's about right. And, yeah, I think 7 is bang on the money, really. If Athers is there, but he's not there, you know what I mean? So Athers will be back when he sorts his internet out. Like, all the way up in Leeds, you know what I mean? And they don't have internet. So, yeah. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Scott says, Athers, terrible Wi-Fi, 2 out of 10. And that is true. I mean, only Athers can ruin my replay, honestly. Unbelievable. Do you know what I'm saying? Moving on to this man. Let's have a look. We got Issa Diop, who I must admit, I will say this, I thought was all right. I thought Issa played well. He done everything proper. And what I noticed tonight, Issa was playing on the left-hand side of the fence. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. But he looked pretty comfortable there on the left side of the defence. And for me, Issa's pretty standard in what he does. And I think the boy's back. But I'll give my rating of Issa. I'll give Issa a 7 with Dawson. Both solid. Clean sheet. Job done. Athers, are you back in the house?
I don't know. I've reset the internet very quickly, so we'll see. That doesn't usually happen.
That's better, mate. Only on FIFA's broadcast, of course it is. But right, Issa Diop, mate, and talk to me. Give me a rating on Issa.
I'd go as far as to say maybe even an 8 out of 10. I think he was brilliant. Really, I think that was the best Issa Diop I've seen for quite some time. He was just very, very composed with everything. He was the one that was sort of seemed to be talking to Masuaku a lot, especially on that left hand side. I just thought he just looked like that first season Issa Diop. He dealt with everything. There was nothing stupid. There was nothing rash. I was actually seriously impressed with him this evening, and I think Dawson, for me, was, I guess, the 7 out of 10. Obviously, yes, he kept the clean sheet, but genuinely, that is the most excited I've seen Issa Diop. I looked at him tonight at times and I thought, wow, okay, actually, hang on a minute. You and Zuma could actually be something special together.
Yeah, I like Issa, I must admit. And for me, Issa's got to go with Zuma. It's a no-brainer, really. Fucking Greg Dawson in the team. Silly. Move to Kafal, obviously, and then we go to the left back in Maz. Give me a rating on Kafal, mate.
8 out of 10. Again, I genuinely, that's probably one of the best performances we've seen from Kafal since he was injured. That was like him of last year, where he was sort of getting assists every other week. It seemed obviously had the chance to with Ben Johnson doing as well, but that looked like him usually just herring up and down that right side, putting some very, very good crosses in. And it was nice to see that again, hopefully, that Ben and Vlad can both sort of compete at that level for a while, because it gives Moyes a massive headache, especially when they're on form, because he was one of the best right backs in the Prem last year. But no, again, 8 out of 10 for me tonight. He was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I thought Kafal was top draw, mate, if I'm honest. For me, he's my man of the match tonight. I thought he was back to the Vlad of old. Crossing was good. Defensively was good. Get up and down the pitch was good. He was good. Yeah, I'm going to give him. I'm giving him a 9. I think he was top draw, I must admit. Moving on to this man on the left-hand side is Arthur Masuaku. We've discussed it on Jake's channel. We said he's going to, can Masuaku play there? Not only did he play well there, Tom, but he played pretty bloody well.
I hate it when he does. No, I don't. I hate it when he does that. I'm just waiting for him to cock up, and then he goes and does that. He was really good. Yeah, I mean, did he set the world alight? No, but he did some of the basics right, which was just defend. And there was a few times that he was pushing forward. I'd give him an 8 out of 10 again. I thought some of the balls that he put in, especially for the one Bowen in the first half, was ridiculous. That was like almost a few years ago when I think he crossed one to Arnautovic against I don't know, it was Southampton or something, and Arnautovic hit it first time on the volley. On his day, he is as good as going forward the likes of Cresswell and Soucek, that kind of ball that they can put into the box. But I thought he did well tonight. That's something that we've not seen for quite some time, and I thought he was very good. But I'd have given him an 8 out of 10. The reason I think he stood out for us tonight was because actually he did both phases of the game quite well.
Yeah, I've got to admit, Arthur surprised me tonight. Not only could he defend tonight, he could attack and all, which was quite shocking in itself. And for me, yeah, I'll give him an 8. I think he deserves an 8. I'm not convinced though. Obviously, we all know it's Vienna. We all know they're not very good, but he played decent against a poor team, so we can't knock him. 8 out of 10 is about right.
Listen, if he can come in, if we don't end up signing a left back, but he can come in now and again for Cresswell and put in those performances when he gets the chance to play, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
He long term can't rely on him as a cover at left back, but if he can do the basics right, because that's realistically all it is. All we're asking him to do is yes, go forward, but don't forget there is a defensive part of the game that you have to do as well. And if he can do that, then that's fine. I do not mind him coming in now and again for Cresswell if we need to give him.
I 100% agree with you, mate. I really do. Moving on to this man, Mark Noble. And Tom's face has just dropped. Let me start with this one. I thought he was... first 25 minutes, I didn't really see him in the game, if I'm honest. I thought he wasn't there, and like I said to my mate in the pub, I said, "It's Mark Noble playing or what?" Because I ain't seen him anywhere. But then he said, "Well, he got better as the game went on." I'm going to give him scored a goal. I'll give him an 8 because he scored, but it's only because he scored for me. It would be a 7 if there's no goal involved, but yeah, he gets an 8 for me.
Soucek was your man of the match. He was my man of the match. I thought, like you, in that first half, I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was anywhere to be seen. Just for those first 25 minutes, thinking, "Oh Jesus, here we go again." Like we'd got a foothold in the game. We were dominating possession, but we just weren't getting anything out of it. But after that, I thought he ran the show, especially in the second half. I thought he was brilliant. I give him a 9 out of 10 for me. I thought he was. I'm so glad I was wrong about him before the thing. And listen, against a better opposition, is he going to do that? No, he's not. Realistically, they weren't great tonight. Obviously, I didn't know until the commentators mentioned that the fact they'd left out 2 of their best players, and they weren't really asked as it went. But I thought for what he did, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He was picking passes across the middle. He was absolutely all over the place. Even defensively, he was getting stuck in. There was a few times where he dropped the left. He got around them, and he was, little pirouettes of old, almost like, what he learned from Scott Parker when he was at the club. I just thought he was brilliant for me. And I'm glad he was wrong, and obviously he put his penalty away beautifully. And I thought he was. Very rarely you ever catch me saying it was a 9 out of 10, but I thought he was what he did tonight. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Obviously, better performance than Soucek as well for the time that he played as well.
Yeah, I must admit, I've got to admit, he done a thoroughly good job tonight. Noble, like he's one of them players that like he either plays very well, or he's like everyone's most hated person. Like he's not good enough. But moving on, moving on though, keeping it short and sweet. On to this man, Thomas Soucek, who was his central midfield partner tonight. Done his job for me. He was okay. Like I wouldn't say he was amazing, but he weren't poor.
I think we both agree. He didn't do anything tonight that Alex Crowell couldn't have done, and he could have got a nice bit of rest as well. I can understand why. Maybe he wanted to give him some minutes. I understand. Maybe Ben Rama for now that they wanted to give him some minutes in lead up to the City game, but just a 7 out of 10. He was all right. He did what he was there to do, but I think Alex Crowell could have equally done exactly what he did there. He didn't set the world alight. He didn't really look to go forward, especially in the first half. Yes, he had that one chance, I think, obviously in the second half when Yarmolenko slipped him in. Other than that, it was an all right performance from him. It was just nothing special from Soucek. So I'd say a 7 out of 10, but it didn't really set the world alight. And like I said, I think Crowell could have done that job easily if Moyes had set out to do that. Yeah,
I agree with you 100,000% there. 7 out of 10's about right. Well, you can't give him an 8 because he didn't blow us away, but he ain't a 6 because he wasn't that bad. So, yeah, I think a 7's about right. I don't know what's going on with Soucek. Or he ain't. He's just not the same player as he was last year. And
if that was last year, when he got that chance going for it, he would have absolutely buried that. That would have been the confidence player, but it's just not there for some reason at the minute.
He's just lost his way a little bit, hasn't he? Let's be honest. And Crowell, I want to see more of Crowell. I think Crowell deserves to play now more than anything. But we will see. Moving on to this man, Nikola Blasic. I'm going to say it through gritty teeth. I've got to admit, Tom, I thought he played pretty decent tonight. Yeah. I know it's against lower opposition, but the ball he puts in for Yarmolenko, is bang on the money, isn't it? It's been straight on his head.
Yeah,
hasn't even got to move.
Yeah,
and I thought he was pretty good tonight.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously, I say his best game in a West Ham shirt. I think. We obviously said it with Jake's channel before the game. It was a perfect opportunity for him. There's no crowd. There was less of a pressure almost off of him. But I actually thought he played really well. I think there was a few times where obviously I think if we looked, I think Dan Wolfenden on Twitter Wolfenden, whatever he's called on Twitter, put out his stats. I think he only had like 82% pass accuracy, but he just seemed to be so much better. He was more involved in the play. He was looking to cut inside onto his right foot now and again. He was doing the defensive work as well. That obviously obviously the defensive work which Moyes
Yes,
wants,
Georgie.
you get back in to the defensive side of the game, and I think it showed tonight. I think he was in all aspects of the game looking to get involved. Where we could say, obviously,
Yeah.
even myself, he has ghosted at times in the last few games that we've seen him play. But no, tonight, hopefully, it's a nice stepping stone for him in what will be a busy period, and he'll get some game time. But yeah, the assist for Yarmolenko was just absolutely on the plate, and nobody was really going to miss from there. I mean, maybe Yarmolenko could have missed from there, but no, much improved performance, and yeah, it was nice to see him get an assist as well.
I got to admit, I'm not Billy's biggest fan, but I must admit he played decent tonight. Obviously, I want to see it in the Premier League though. Now it's like I know he's there, like it's okay doing it against Rapid Vienna, who, let's be honest, are a poor team. Let's see what he's like in the Prem. And what's your rating for him, Tom?
I'm going to be nice to him just because I think it's his best game. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think, like I said, that if he can learn to like he did once in the first half where he cut inside onto his right foot and he had a dig and it sort of flew over the bar. There was a few times tonight I thought he could have taken a shot on, but actually unselfishly tried to play the next ball onto him. But if he's got that confidence to cut inside, he'd done it for Moscow when he was out there, and I've seen some of the clips of him when he did cut into that right and he's unleashed some absolute thunderbolts, and we'll be laughing. So no, I'll go as far as to give him an 8 out of 10 tonight. And that's
8 out of 10. I'm going to agree with you though, mate. I'm with you on this one, 100%. And me and you don't usually agree, right? But I will agree with you on this one. I think tonight he played all right.
Sat down.
Tom nearly passed out, but I must admit, I thought he played all right tonight. The next step is the Prem for me, and that's when we will know where he's at. But yeah, he deserves an 8 out of 10 tonight. Moving on to the jewel in the crown at West Ham, Mr. Manuel Lanzini, who I think was very, very good tonight. I must admit, I liked him. I do like this kid. I must admit, he's been with us through thick and thin. He's been injured. He's been told to people want him to leave. People say he weren't good enough. What do you make of him, Tom?
I think I even tweeted about it when he came off. I've so enjoyed watching Lanzini back to his what feels like near to his best. Yes, he's not chipping in with the goals, but he's playing with so much confidence right now. He wants the ball to come in to collect the ball for the players. He's up the play when he's there. He just brings a bit of control in the game sometimes when you need it. And players like that will always bring that control, can play that killer ball. And realistically, his position dictates the tempo of how going forward. And yes, he's played a bit in a few different positions in the Premier League. Moyes has asked him to play a little bit deeper sometimes. But I thought tonight it was like watching the Manuel Lanzini of old with just that confidence to just go past players and do stuff in the final third. So for me, leading or an 8 out of 10 performance, I thought he was just. I absolutely love it when Lanzini's on form, and he's just last few weeks. It's just been. It just feels like he's just nearly there. He's getting back to what he was, and if he can play some serious minutes for us this year, it's going to help because I don't think we've got another style. Maybe Fornals is the closest player to him, but I don't think there's another player like Lanzini at the club that can do what he does forward. I just think he's very different in that respect. I really think he's so creative. It's almost looked past because of how good we've been this season. But I think he's really shown us in the last couple of weeks actually what he can bring to the team when he plays some serious minutes. So it can only be good for us going forward, especially in the next round of the Europa League. Yeah,
I agree. Again, I think Manny's getting back to the Manny of old, mate. If I'm honest,
yeah,
he's looking the part. And them front four need to sort themselves out in the final third, because if they don't, Lanzini's knocking on that door, mate. I'm telling you that now. I thought he was good tonight. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was pretty solid. He done everything right. He got stuck in. He was Manny of old, and I must admit he was very, very good. So that's an 8 for me.
I think that's the thing as well, is confidence in him that he's not afraid to go into a challenge as well. I almost thought like after his injury, he did look a little bit nervous sometimes, but he's fully getting stuck in again. And it's just, if he can get even back to just a smidgen of what he was before he got injured, then we're laughing really. When obviously Ben Rama going to the African Cup of Nations, but that is going to be such a good thing for David Moyes that if he can rely on Lanzini to play some real minutes, or if we don't get Lingard straight away or whatever, it's going to be absolutely brilliant for Moyes.
100% agree. Moving on to this man, Andre Yarmolenko, who I have criticised quite a lot. And I've turned around and said he ain't good enough. Gio on the preview show, Gio predicted that he would score the first goal. Gio messaged me and said, James, did you see that? I told you he scored the first goal. I was like, cheers, Gio. Thanks for reminding me. Tom, what do you make of Yarmolenko tonight?
Yeah, never muck about with Gio. So I still remember in the Europa League final, he told me, get on Pedro for Chelsea against Arsenal was the first to get booked. And I didn't put that on. He did. And he laughed all the way into 500 quid. So, yeah, if Gio says something's going to happen, usually it happens. Yes, he got his goal. I really wanted to be nice about him because obviously I guess he looked better than what we've said. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. But again, it just... players know what he wants to do. And if he can't get onto that right foot and actually do something else, yes... I prefer him almost when he's through the middle. I would have maybe liked to have seen him through the middle instead of Bowen and have Bowen out wide. But I'll give him a 7 out of 10 because there's still areas of his game that I just don't like watching. And I thought it was night and day. Like when we said in the preview, in the build up to it with Jake, Sonny Perkins came on. He was into it straight away. He was pressing from the front. He wanted to get in. He gets stuck in. That's what you get with the players. But with him, he just coasts down the game sometimes, and he's just very slow in his movements. But listen, he got his goal, but nothing more than a 7 out of 10 for me. That's being kind to him, is what I'd say.
I'm going to give him, for the Yarmolenko that we've all seen, for the Yarmolenko that we've all seen, I think he deserves at least an 8. I think, like, sometimes I've seen him absolutely shocking. And I must admit, he got himself about good goal, let's be honest. But let's be honest, if he didn't score that goal, I think everyone would have criticised him and said, what the hell are you doing? Like, so, won the penalty. Yeah, he gets an 8 for me. I've got to admit, I thought he was pretty... He was okay against a poor team. So he was pretty okay against a poor team. But one person who wasn't is this man, Jared Bowen. And the amount of chances this kid gets and he misses, Tom. Starting to become a worry now, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's... I don't know why he's... Things you could... some of the chances he's had, especially in the Premier this year, like, these balls are delivered to him on a silver plate. Like, they are chances... you should really be gobbling up, especially he's someone that is inside forward almost that wants to get forward and get beyond the last man and sort of is closest at times to Antonio in terms of trying to get there. My God, if he really wants to get picked for England, he's going to have to start putting those chances away because he's had glorious, numerous ones. And obviously then when they had a player down in the box and he's hit it straight at the keeper when there was a nice gap to the left of the keeper, needs to calm down when he gets into the box. I really do. It's like he has too much time that he just overthinks it. Again, yes, I thought he did all right. It was, 7 out of 10 for me, nothing majorly special, but he could have nearly double-digit goals this season in all competitions, across all competitions if he actually started putting some chances away. And it is a little bit worrying when he is literally through on goal sometimes and the amount of times the keeper ended up saving it. I remember the game against, what was it? It was at home against Genk, I think, and he had a glorious chance a few minutes before he scored. And it's like, just breathe, kid. I feel like Conor McGregor, just breathe, kid. Breath. Like, just literally just 5 seconds is all you need. Just in your head, just calm down and just place the ball in the back of the net. It is really that simple. But no, I think other than that, it was a 7 out of 10 for me with a goal. He would have got maybe more, but he should have scored 2 tonight, put it that way.
I'm going to be a bit controversial here, I think, and I'm going to give him a 6.
Cheeky 6.
Yeah, I think he was how many chances does this kid need to score a goal those on?
Yeah.
Like in a roundabout way, like, and he's one of our main boys. Don't forget, he's one of the front four, and he's got to start putting them balls in the back of the net. He has got everything in his game. He's got good work rate. He's got pace. He can beat people. He can cross balls in. The one thing he has not got is end product, and that is a worry to me.
I think what we could say though, that end product was there in the Championship. Obviously, it's a step up when you get into the Prem, but clearly he scored like 15 plus goals, I think maybe once or twice in his career at Hull, and he regularly put the ball in the back of the net. So it's not a problem for him, but I don't know what it is at the top level of it. He's just so rash in what he with the chances and stuff. I honestly can't put it down to it because, like we said, the amount of glorious opportunities he's had this year, and just if somebody, let's say for instance, you were talking on American Hour the other week. Say for instance, maybe Ismail Assar comes in and he plays in that same position. He starts putting those chances away. All of a sudden, David Moyes goes, "Well, hang on a minute. He's actually finishing these big chances. You're not," and all of a sudden he starts falling out of favour. So. Yeah, he's got absolutely everything in his game, but finishing is what is letting him down at the minute because he could have 10 goals in all competitions this year easily with the chances he's had.
It's just, for me, I just look at him and I just see a player there who's got all the attributes, everything, but just hasn't got no end product. Like, I think I like Bowen, don't get me wrong. Bowen's grown on me this year. I think last year there was little issues with him, and I think sometimes he was playing games where he shouldn't have been playing. But this year, I do like him. I think he's a 100% starter. I think he does well on the right hand side. But it's just the end product, though, Tom, for me, and that's why it has to be a 6 for me with Jared. Moving on to the substitutions. See if I've got them all here. We obviously brought. I tell you what, I won't bring them up. We'll just go through them. I'll start off with Ben Rama. Give me a rating, Tom. I thought he done all right. So,
to be honest with you, it's not me being harsh, by the way, but I just 6 out of 10. But that's not me being horrible towards him. I don't know why Moyes brought him on. My God, if either he or Fornals got injured, I was shaking my head when they brought him on. I was thinking, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? So it just didn't make sense. You're in control of the game. Put the kids on. Let the kids have a go. But listen, he was already won at that point, and he did. Unfortunately, he didn't do anything spectacular. So a 6 out of 10. But that's not me being unkind. He just didn't do enough to that rating, unfortunately.
Yeah, I must admit, I agree. 6 out of 10 is about right. Come on, he was there. He looked lively. But yeah, 6 out of 10 is about right. Did you
exchange between him and Yarmolenko when he came on? Yarmolenko said, because that Thomas Clark or the reporter looked at it, apparently saw it happen, and Ben Rama went up to him, or Yarmolenko went up to him and said, "Who's playing up front?" And Ben Rama kind of went, "Me." And Yarmolenko was like, "What? Wait a minute." It just feels weird. They're even saying that Rama will be another choice striker instead of Yarmolenko. But yeah, just very strange decision.
Give me your quick fire ratings, Tom, for Fornals.
6 out of 10. Same principles as Ben Rama.
Right. Alex Krell.
7 out of 10. Easily.
Yeah,
I think he just looked the part when he came on. It must be something that Moyes sees in training with him. I don't understand, because he was getting about. He was absolutely everywhere, exactly like Soucek was. In the midfield, he just always running, got that energy, got that tank on them. For the life of me, we could probably sit here and just moan about it for hours. I don't understand why he doesn't play, because I actually really liked the look of him when he came on. So I'll give him a 7. I thought he was very good when he came on. He just everywhere is what I would say. Running around like sideshow Bob, headless chicken, whatever you want. But he was just very good, very competent when he came on.
Yeah, I agree. I liked him. He gets about. How can I put it? Got a lot of energy, the kid. Give him that. He's just nothing's a problem sort of thing. and he gets into a problem. He gets out of it pretty good. I want to see more of him though. I like Krell. So yeah, I think 7's about right. Ryan Fredericks, come on.
6.
6 out of 10.
I don't know why Masuaku couldn't finish the game. It didn't really seem like it needed to happen, kind of thing. You just kind of got brought on just for some minutes. Didn't really feel the need for him coming on. 6 out of 10.
I agree, mate. I agree with you. Finally, though, the 17-year-old striker makes his debut, comes on, and his name is Sonny Perkins. Give me a rating, Tom, for his time on the pitch.
For his time on the pitch, I might go a bit controversial here as well. I'll give him an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
I know he didn't score.
Absolutely bang on.
I know he didn't score, but he just looked the part when he came on. He was pressing from the front, which is always what we want to see. He looked lively. He got a chance that he had to control. Like, it was a very controlled finish. Unfortunately, because he was sort of having to lean back and try to get it back across the keeper, he kind of gave it keeper. He was very central in the way it had gone, but he got so much power on it. But I just thought he just looked the part. I was seriously impressed. I've only really heard of him, obviously, for the fact that he was in England youth team. And obviously, he's been scoring a few goals for our sort of different age groups down below. I thought he looked all right. I was genuinely surprised when he came on. I'm thinking, at least he had a bit more time than Dan Chester's had when he came on.
Yeah.
But our academy, I feel, it looks back from what I can see. Like some of the boys that we're bringing through at the minute, they look serious talents. And I would almost like, I think I would like to see him start against Zagreb, just to see what he's like. Even if it's 60, 70 minutes, just give him a chance, because he looked very threatening when he came on, and he was ticking all the right boxes, and he was doing all the right things. There was even a defensive side of his game. He dropped deep when he was needed a couple of times, like exactly what Moyes likes in a player. But I was actually very impressed by him when he came on. I was so disappointed he didn't get his goal.
Yeah, I must admit, I thought he was absolutely top drawer. I've seen players over the years, and you have, Tom, like through watching West Ham, and I've seen him do more than some of the players who's ever played like 5-6 games for West Ham. I liked him. He was light on his feet. His awareness was good. Yedda, let's be honest, he's unlucky, really. If he can get over that, if he's a bit taller, that's a goal, because he gets that down. Yeah, I like him. I like someone who runs about, who's committed to the shirt and don't mind putting a shift in. I must admit, I know he's only on for 13 minutes and we can't get giddy, but in that 30 minutes, he showed that he showed why Moyes had put faith in him to come over. So yeah, he gets an 8 out of 10 for me.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's not just a small thing like getting your sort of your first Premier League minutes or something. That's a big deal for him, and that's for me why I would like to have seen him start instead of someone like Yarmolenko and put Bowen on the right. Maybe obviously Moyes, he's obviously only 17, but listen, if you come on and you put that performance in, all of a sudden David Moyes will go, hang on a minute, I want to see you in a little bit of first training, maybe. I want to see you perform in the reserves, maybe I'm going to come watch you and see how good you can be. And that's the thing. That's all you can do as a player, is just when you come on, you give that absolute. It could be 5-0 to us. It doesn't matter. If you come on and you're straight away, bang, you're into the game, showing that 10. It's only good signs and looks like a good attitude for the kid. But yeah, I'd like, at the minute, every time one of our sort of like youth team players comes through and tries to do something, or we hear stuff about them, we've got some very good players on our books that are of a young age. And if we can, I know Krasinski said in his Evening Standard interview that he wants to sort of keep that same bedding of the youth in with our Academy of Football, because obviously he said it's so well renowned or whatever, and he said all the right things in his piece. I'm excited for the future. Some of our players coming through. I really am. It's the most excited I've been about our academy since the Lampard days. I think that's. There's just so many players at the minute that seem to be still working in that sort of Moyes ethos, if you will. Even from the youngsters that come through with Johnson, etc., as well. Like, they all seem to be doing it. And shout out to David Moyes. I think I was reading earlier. It's like 10 to 12 youth team players that he's given his debut to since he's come in, and that's a very good number for a manager to have, and to show that faith in them. I think he paid Moyes. Even if it was 13 minutes, he would have shown Moyes a lot in that 13 minutes.
Yeah, 100% agree with you, Tom. 100% agree. I must admit, I agree with you on the youngsters. As I said earlier before you come on, I say it why there's many people in the chat. I was out having a beer tonight, and I was at a football club local to me, and the CEO came in and sat next to me and my mate. And he turned around and said that they're looking at a West Ham young defender, and he couldn't name really no names, but he said he's after a defender to come in January. I must admit, if we can get these players playing, then next season we're going to have some good players coming in who could come in and potentially come in the first team. And I think that the future is very bright at West Ham. Very, very bright indeed. Finally, Tom, final two. The ref, give me a rating.
Didn't have much to do, did he? Again, Gio, he's annoyingly right every single time. I did
see the bet, and he messaged me on it, and I was like, "What's going on here? How you pulled that, Gio?"
Yeah, no card in the game, and he's spot on the money. He's very good at what he does. But no, ref was all right. He didn't really have any big decisions to make, did he? It was a nice evening's work for him, to be honest. I think as a ref, that's the kind of game that you want. It wasn't too scrappy. It wasn't too anything. And I thought there was a couple of challenges that went in, but then instead of blowing up at the other end, I think there was a foul on Yarmolenko in their corner in the second half, and then he let it go. But then equally on the exact same counter-attacking play, one of their players got sort of crashed into, and he just went, yeah, no. So I actually thought, yeah, he did all right. Do I give the ref a rating out of 10? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, 7 out of 10 for the ref.
7 out of 10. I'm going to agree with you. 100%. I think 7 out of 10 is about right.
Brilliant. We've never agreed so much in our lives.
I know, mate. I don't know what's going on. It must be because I'm about 10 points in, I think. But no, listen. I know, I've got to, mate. I've got to do this YouTube game. Listen, I've got to admit, Gio got it bang on the money. He messaged me and he said to me about no goals. And the bet he had was 25 to 1 for no cards. Sorry, not no goals, no cards. And he got it absolutely spot on, I must admit. And the ref was pretty decent tonight, I've got to say. And finally, this man, David Moyes, the boss. What do you make of it, Tommy? Ben Rama, 4 nails coming on.
I'll give him a 5 out of 10 tonight. I'll give him a 5. And that's only because you're an idiot, is what I would say. Like, if one of them two had got injured, the fans would have been livid tonight. The players that were on, we were so in control of the game. There was no need to risk them. There was, especially with City at the weekend and the busy schedule coming up, just leave them off the pitch. Don't bring them on, for the love of God. If you really needed to shore it up, even if it was just going 5 at the back and pulling one of the attackers off and putting Elise on for half an hour, honestly, when I turned around and looked at Rebecca, I could not believe that he did that. I just thought it was so stupid and naive of him to do it. And thankfully, they didn't come away with an injury. But the team sheet we kind of questioned before the game, but it sort of worked itself out. But those substitutions for me, it just, whatever you're doing there, don't do that again. Seriously, do not do that again. We don't need an injury, especially now.
I've got to admit, I'm not going to give him a 5. I'm going to give him a 6. I think it's, but I'm not. But I'm with you though on what the Ben Rama 4 nails thing. It just made no sense to me. Comfortable, in control of the game. They didn't look nowhere near a threat, and we go and bring on 2 of our front 4. Do you know what I mean? It just it just made no sense. You take all them youngsters over there, and you only play one of them. It just, it was. He picked. Was the team right? We can't argue. He got the job done, but you don't bring on Ben Rama and 4 nails. That's criminal.
I know Mark's just said there in the chat and giving him a 10. I'll give him for an overall performance of the group stage, 100%. Like I can't knock the man, but if one of those had gotten injured, that is so brainless. If
Pablo 4 nails, for instance, gets injured, then it's curtains. Let's be honest. Yeah, and for me, it was a job well done tonight, I must admit, from Moyes. But yeah, a bit silly. Do you know what I mean? To bring them on. Well, that's it, Tom boy. Do you know what I mean? You've had bad internet night and all that, but we've managed to get it done, mate. Give me your final thoughts on tonight's performance and moving forward.
Yeah, just thrilled to get through the group stage, and the fact we don't have to come back in February to play that extra game, to get through is massive for us. We've now got until nice rest in this competition till March. It would have done everybody the world of good to say that was our first. That was our first Europa League group stand. Jazza, hello mate, how you doing? To say that was our first group stage in Europa League, we've absolutely bossed that realistically. We conceded 2 goals, and so far, obviously, the Zagreb game, because you'll play some youngsters, I expect us to go in. But that was, I don't think anybody in their wildest imaginations could have expected the ease in which we sort of seem to have breezed through this group. We've just done proper professional job. Exciting time to be a West Ham. Exciting to be in the knockout zero, especially with the likes of Dortmund and that coming down. We obviously won't get them in the first round of fixtures, but maybe if we get an easier opponent and we get through, we can look forward to those big games. It's just an exciting time to be a West Ham fan. It really is. And we go to City at the weekend. But again, I've still got the mentality of it doesn't matter. It's City, yes, but again, it's one game. We can do exactly what we did against Liverpool. Don't be afraid. Go there, set up. They won't have some of their better players. Obviously, De Bruyne has got COVID, and I think, Grealish is potentially out, and a few others, etc. Just take it to them, because we're full of confidence right now. Winning breeds that confidence and that mentality. Let's just keep it going. It's just, this train is rolling, and let's not stop now. Let's not, especially with the busy Christmas period coming. All of a sudden, 1-2 results, and it changes our season. And it's just, I don't even know what more to say. It's such a good time to be a West Ham fan. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, totally agree with everything you just said there. I always thought that we could get out of this group. I always said that, you know what, look at us on paper. We can blast these teams out at Stratford. It's just the away games. But I must admit, we've had a slightly touch with the group that we've been landed. But nevertheless, the players has come in, have done the job, and we've got the wins, and we've got obviously the draw in Genk, which, let's be honest, we could have won that game if we didn't used our loaf a little bit more. But we've got the job done. We're in the last 16. That's where we want to be. Not back till March. Team's buzzing at the minute. Obviously, I was disappointed on Saturday because it was out of character with West Ham. I see the old West Ham there. I didn't like that. But this new West Ham going forward, it looks pretty decent. It's all about now the Premier League, the Carabao Cup for me, and we've got Tottenham on the 22nd of December, and that's going to be massive, and we don't want to lose that one. So, do you know what I mean?
Sorry, I think it's funny, just the fact that they really got, last minute against a Slovakian min-OT. It's just fantastic.
I must admit, I thought I'd just drop that in there, Tom. I just thought I'd just drop it in there.
Yeah, listen, winning's not for everyone on a Thursday night, is it, Spurs? Let's be honest. Come on.
Yeah, I must admit, very Spursy from Spurs, I must admit. But yeah, it's just one of them ones, really. And obviously, we've got Man City at the weekend, big game. What's this? I got Jazza. He's literally spamming my thing. Do West Ham play tabletopping teams in the next round? Or no, they don't. They play a last 16 game against either a Champions League team or a team who's finished second in their league, I think it is. And Tom, would you know this, or would I have to ask Charlie?
You can ask James, mate. James will give you the answer.
I'll just give you the answer, Jazza. You know it, son. But yeah, listen, Tom, thanks for coming on tonight, mate. I really do appreciate it. You're always welcome here. Top lad, and me and him have many debates about things. And strangely tonight, we've both agreed on something. I think it's because I'm about 8 pints in, but you know what I mean. It's got to get.
As I said, just keep drinking whenever we do shows.
Yeah.
Just keep drinking.
Yeah, that Irish Guinness it goes a long way. But you know how it is. But listen, if you like my content and you've been viewing me and Tom tonight, please do subscribe. It goes a long way. It helps me out. I'm trying to get this channel growing. And I do appreciate Gio yesterday. He put me name out there, and I got many subscribers because of him. So I really do appreciate him for doing that. Like the video. I'll be back again soon with more people, more West Ham content, and more betting content. So I really do appreciate you all greatly. And roll on Sunday. No fear against City. It's a free hit. Let's have a go and see where we land. It's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from us. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.